right side to take home the bacon here at Wild Horse. Whoa, hang on. Mara got out there, and when the turbo car started to make a move, it got over by the center line, came around, and slammed into the wall. Check this out on the NHRA replay. The nitrous cars you'd expect getting out front. Now here comes the boost, and look at the cars driving to the left. He tries to bring it back, and at this point it's like, oh no. Got the front, got the back, brought it around again. You can see he's still driving it. He's got the brakes locked up there, hoping to not do any more damage to that incredible hot rod. And it'll come to a stop over there up against.
All right, here we go. Scruggs on the right, Thorne on the left. Wheels up, Thorne. We got ourselves a drag race. 006, Chris Thorne. Can he hold on to the win? And the number 16 qualifier takes down. Oh, big crash. Top end. Thorne in the wall on his lid after winning the race. Sunoco Vision here on site next to the tower. Here's the replay. Thorne, wheels up, 006, taking on the number 1 qualifier. Jason Scruggs is out there, but those turbo cars make their power on the top end. And look, the parachute not deployed. He's on the brakes. The chute not deployed and just gets away right in front of Jason Scruggs. Hard impact, right side wall, sliding on his lid. 200 margin. Again, parachute does not deploy, and Chris getting in it. Gets into a rear tire hop situation as he tries to slow the car. On his roof, helplessly sliding. We'll stay with it. See him reaching up and into the trap, where the car then barrel rolls one more time.
But right now, Justin Taylor, last time he raced here was at the Frank Hawley Drag Racing School. Great side-by-side start. Dan Horan's got a big speed car. Check it out. 565, 262, but no parachute from what I could tell up here in the timing tower. And he is in the sand at the top end of the racetrack. I mean, 2 great side-by-side runs, 565. I think the speed record is 265. He ran 262. And right at this point, Dan knew he was in trouble. Trying to get on the brakes there. The car bounces a bit.
And it bounces out the parachute, but at this point it's too late.
See the sand trap doing its thing, slowing the car down into the net, and I believe it just flipped it right over. Wow.
You know, honestly, the car had slowed down.
To the driver. Leah racing for her points light. Tony just racing for fun. Island Trophy. Leah's car blows the whole body off of it at the top end of the racetrack. That thing just disintegrated. Tony Schumacher got the win, but that was the craziest thing I've seen. It's like the whole front of the car just disintegrated down there. Leah's car has come to a stop, and she is already opening the capsule, and Leah Pruitt climbs out of what's left of that Don Schumacher race car. Holy smokes. That thing, she hit the gas, it washed out, it moved towards the center line. Those two were glued together. They were 4 thousandths apart at 330. That thing broke in the middle. As you watch it up there on a replay, we've seen that a couple of times, but not for a number of years. The chassis bowed up in the middle. But the one thing that you can absolutely see crystal clear, the capsule stayed intact. And after a wild flight, and a hard landing, Parachute certainly helps slow the car down. Couple of Toyotas. Somebody's got to race. Hulk Hagen. Alexis left side. JR Todd right. JR has problems. He pedals it a couple of times. Alexis, kaboom! Blows the body off of it in the shutdown area. Gets over up against the concrete. And wins. 3.91, 322 miles an hour. You saw that thing had some really hot pipes as it was closing in on the finish line. And then it went kablooey. Shattered that Toyota body. The car stayed on its wheels, even though it was definitely a wild ride down there, bouncing back and forth and getting up against the wall before ultimately coming to a stop. You can see it closing in on the finish line. You can see cylinder out, happy pipe on the right side, and then this thing is going to just disintegrate. There's the finish line. Chute's coming out. Boom. And we have got a top end full of carbon fiber confetti again.
Matuszek starting to spool up those turbochargers. King Tut with the blower car follows him in. Reaction time advantage going to Matuszek. Whoa, Matuszek sideways on his lid and sliding down the racetrack. And here's the replay for those of you watching on NHRA.tv. And we'll see what we can see. Totoro goes in. Amber's flash. Mustang away first, but look at, from that perspective, car made a move towards the center line. Steve corrected, and it just went on its lid right in the middle of the racetrack. Sliding on the driver's side.
Skater Nationals win back in 1990. He's given Greg Anderson a run for his money here. Had the better reaction time, and then disaster strikes as Delco's car gets out of the groove, begins to turn sideways. The air gets underneath it, and Tony Pedregon, he is on the wildest pro stock ride we have seen so far in 2020.
Just outside of the window of Greg Anderson was Kenny Delco, just alongside of him, but it had a slow drift just to the inside of the lane. It may have been the correction to try to pull it back into the center of the lane that caused this car to take flight.
Just a brutal roll here. You can see Kenny Delco's car, the counter steering maneuver, the air tearing the door off, and then as he goes down the racetrack, barrel rolling the car multiple times as it kind of pinwheels its way down the concrete retaining wall to the left side of the right side of the drag strip. It was a scary ride, the second crash in as many years for Kenny Delco. He got out under his own power. The car was removed from the racetrack, and then we caught up.
PRC, performance team on the left side, trying to move up. Ronnie Proctor. Oh, and Proctor's not going to make it. He spins it out in the middle of the racetrack. Oh, man. I don't know how he didn't hit anything. 673, 206 miles an hour for Smitty. That'll move him up. Ronnie Proctor is going to go home with a D&Q, but he's going to go home with a race car. And there was a minute there where I wasn't sure that was going to happen.